How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Having a good time here. Spending the weekend with my family, with my parents.
hmm
Came to visit, you know.
hmm How
I,
was it?
I was pretty good. Actually enjoyed it. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
in spite of being in the middle of the winter, we're having some nice weather. It's
Right.
almost like spring right now. It doesn't feel like
hmm
winter. So it's nice.
hmm
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
It's good. The day has been going well so far. I worked for a little bit. I still have, I guess, some work to do more in the evening, but now I have time for the talking with you and then probably relax a little bit, go get my lunch. But overall, it's been great. It's
That's
been
awesome.
great. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
actually very grateful that you accepted an invitation from a random stranger who reached out to you and invited you to do this, you know.
Yeah.
But let me explain a little bit. I've been teaching English for quite a bit now. I started
hmm
in 1995. So
Mm.
it's been a while.
Wow.
Yes, it's been a
Yeah.
while. But since the pandemic, I started working online, because that
Right.
was basically the only thing we could do.
Right. Yeah. To
But it
survive.
exactly, but it
Yeah.
actually opened, a new door to
hmm
something that turned out to be now my main way of working. And
hmm
it is great because I can have students from basically anywhere.
Right.
So
Right.
I went from having only students from the town where I live to having students from other parts of the country and even
hmm
students from other countries.
Right. Yeah.
So it's fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
How do you like,
yeah,
yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you think is the main difference between teaching online and in person? Because you've had a lot of experience in person, I guess, and the COVID made you to switch the gears completely, I'm guessing. So what are, I
absolutely.
guess, the pros and cons for you? Yeah.
Um, I think that probably being that I always kind of liked technology and,
hmm
that made it probably easier for me, maybe compared to other
hmm
teachers who had to learn how to use um, a device like this, or these
Right.
applications and all that. I kind of enjoyed it. And I noticed that there are things I can do, like I can share screen, I can share presentations, I can make
Mm,
presentations and use them, play videos. And when you're
right.
in a classroom and you play the audio and the one sitting at the back cannot hear it, or there's an
Yeah, yeah,
echo in
yeah.
the room, all these are problems that I don't have to deal with because,
hmm
especially if using headphones, they can
hmm
hear everything perfectly.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's right.
I noticed that it's kind of convenient.
hmm hmm Yeah.
But yes, I discovered that I enjoy teaching. I enjoyed teaching this way. I found it fascinating that I can have students from so far away. One of my students, for example, he's Argentinian. No, I am from
hmm
Argentina. I live in Buenos Aires.
Right.
And this Argentinian student moved to Australia.
hmm
So we have our class on Wednesday night for me, but it's
hmm
Thursday morning for him. I'm finishing
mm
my day, he's
mm
starting his, and I think that's just crazy. And
It
I
is,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah,
hmm
yes. And so
Yeah.
about you teach English as well, right? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I do teach English. I have a podcast. I paused for a little bit, but yeah, currently I'm focusing more on teaching. I actually got off the call with one of my students just a couple of minutes ago. And I feel you when you say that somebody just begins their day and you finish it, or vice versa. You finish it. It's just crazy because sometimes it can be sunny outside, but for some of my students, it's dark and they turn on the lamps, and I'm like, oh yeah, the time difference is huge because main students, I guess the main source of students is from Europe, from Ukraine, obviously, because I'm Ukrainian myself, but currently I reside in the United States because I study here. So the time difference is insane, I would say. It's 7 or sometimes even 12 hours depending on their location. Um,
That's
but
true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
And I mean, while you are in a video call, it's difficult to perceive the distance. It actually,
hmm
you cannot tell until someone says something about the time, you know?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
So it's really nice that this is, accessible, to so many.
Hmm.
And so it's so easy. So you are
Yeah, yeah.
originally, to get to know you a little better, so you are originally from Ukraine, right?
Yes, here. The
There
flag,
the
yes, is
flag.
here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's
am
good.
originally from Ukraine, yeah. Moved
Hmm.
here when I was 16 years old. I studied in Germany for a little bit. I didn't really like it, and then I moved to the States to pursue my higher education, but before I had to complete my high school, so I came here. I was in 12th grade, so I was a senior in high school. And after that, I really loved it. So I was like, I have to get into the university and pursue my bachelor degree here. So that's what I'm currently doing, rising junior. But now I have summer break, so I can focus on teaching, on my
Hmm.
hobbies. I do work for the university. We're doing a research, but still, my main focus right now is teaching because I love to get to know people from all around the world or even Ukrainians. We're coming from different towns, but sometimes there's such a cultural difference or
Hmm.
perspective on life. And
Hmm.
I guess teaching really helped me to become much more open-minded and learn from other people's experience, because it makes me better. It makes me know more information. I have more knowledge I can share with other people, and it's always good to have something to share because I have been always passionate about teaching, about sharing something with everyone or doing things like that in general.
Would you say that teaching English is also one of your hobbies? Because it,
It's my work and my hobby. Yes, it's my work and my hobby, I would say, because I'm really into journaling. And 2 years ago, I had this idea of like, how can I help Ukrainians or even people who want to learn another language or build a completely different personality in another language? And I actually looked at those journals yesterday. And I was like, wow, 2 years before, I was just writing about it, but now I'm actually doing it and pretty successfully. Not only it brings me money, but also some new experiences, broadens my perspective, and so I can call it a hobby as well. Yeah.
as well as it is a job, I feel pretty much the same way,
Hmm.
When I discovered that I like teaching and making that also a way of living, I love it.
Yeah.
And when I do these interviews, um, it almost started by accident, like I,
Hmm.
I got in contact with someone because I also enjoy meeting people, from other places.
Right.
And we arranged things so that we could have our this call one-on-one. And he said, maybe we could record it, maybe our students would be
Mm-hmm.
interested in what we're going to talk about. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, let's give it a try. And if
Right.
we like how it turns out, maybe I can post it. And I discovered
Hmm.
that it was really good,
Right.
So I started doing this. And mainly
Hmm.
I've been in touch with Americans,
Hmm.
most of them. Most of the interviews I've made are with Americans, with only, I think, with only one exception, you would be the second one. I got to
Hmm.
talk with a guy from Turkey,
Turkey.
very,
Yeah.
very gifted at languages. He was practicing about 10 languages. And during the
Mm.
interview, he showed me how he could speak those languages.
Wow.
Super interesting. Yeah, fascinating actually. He was about the age of my kids. I have three kids, you know,
Hmm.
like 21, 23, 25 years old, and he
Yeah.
was about 25. Um, so pretty amazing that he could, do that. And he was very into
Hmm.
it. Well, he was studying
Hmm.
linguistics, so it was kind of like his,
Oh, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you? You look very young too.
I am 19. Yeah, I'm gonna turn 20 very soon. So I am pretty young, yeah.
Even younger than I thought, actually.
Well, what did you think?
I thought you were in your 20s, probably. Yeah.
20s? Yeah, a lot of people say it actually. But then when they hear about my age, they're like, "Wow, 19. That's crazy." Yeah.
Especially being teaching, as
Hmm.
working as an instructor at 19, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Teaching is not easy.
I think it also, it's one of the things that I didn't really have to put initial effort in, but it came naturally. It's like I could connect with people, kind of like when you have a passion, you don't just
Mhm.
like write down every step that you have to do. You just follow your heart and whatever your mind tells you. So I started with that, and then I was like, wow, I have to create a structure to even improve it and become better myself. And it kind of gave me a lot of leadership skills, as you know, because when you teach somebody, you're responsible not only for bringing like true information, but also you're responsible for creating this personal, nice experience for the person,
Mhm.
I would say. Like maybe becoming friends, not only becoming a teacher. You know, one of the things that I tell my students is that I usually don't use the structure teacher student, I use structure friend and friend. Because then they open up, they show me their personality. We don't have those awkward situations. We can discuss anything. And that perspective, I think, helped me a lot in terms of building my tutoring skills, my mentor skills as well. Just letting people know that, you know, I am a person as well. I don't know English 100%. I'm learning the same way as they do. And making mistakes is fine. You know, the more mistakes you make, the better, actually, because then you know that, oh, I made the mistake here. I'm not gonna do it in the future because I have
Exactly.
an emotional connection to it. So,
It's part of
yeah,
the process.
part of the process. Yeah,
Mm.
learning without mistakes is not learning.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
speaking about that, how is your experience with English? Because being born in Ukraine, I don't know if
hmm
that was part of your education as you grew up, or you had to like learn it afterwards. What was it like?
Yeah, so well, in Ukraine, I spent most of my years, my first 16 years of life, and our education is based that way that since second grade, everybody is supposed to take English language, but it's not like very proficient, I would say, just to know the basics, you know what I
Right.
mean? And then when I was getting into middle school slash high school, we have an exam, and during the exam you're supposed to take an English exam basically and pass it with a good grade in order to get to the university, possibly get a scholarship. So I started preparing due to additional outside school courses. So I had a tutor, and I watched a lot of American movies, Hollywood music, so I got into it as well. And I had this motivation for English language. But I guess the biggest boost was when I came to the United States and I had grammar, I had vocabulary, but in terms of speaking, it was very hard because I was lacking speaking practice because our
Mm,
education wasn't really focused on that part, even though it's one of the most important ones.
true.
So only when I met European friends, American friends here in the United States, I realized that, oh, well, they also make mistakes, you know, and I can make them too in order to learn, and everybody have different accents and things like that.
Mhm.
So when I opened up and I started speaking the way I could, I realized that there's room for improvement, and it only takes time and practice. And that's actually one of the things that probably made me realize that I have to open a speaking club or individual speaking classes for Ukrainians to help
Mhm.
our Ukrainian education um, get better, I guess. Because, yes, we do focus on grammar, we do focus on vocabulary, but speaking is something that you have to practice every week, hopefully every day.
Yeah,
And that's how I grew basically in my English journey, I would say.
absolutely. Every time I get a new student, and I get to know them, usually the problem is that
hmm
if they have some kind of training in the language, they tell me that they can read and kind of understand,
hmm
but they struggle to communicate orally and to understand
Right.
when they talk. And as you
hmm
said, which is the most important part. So
hmm
that is where the focus should be put on. And I try to focus on those things. I usually in classes I
Yeah.
present different kinds of challenges. Today we were working with riddles, for example.
hmm
So we were reading
hmm
the riddles and trying to think, and they try to guess what it was. Um,
hmm
just as an example, and then we work with descriptions of pictures so that we can,
hmm
elicit all kinds of expressions and names of things and actions going on. And that
Right.
allows me to find mistakes and correct it. But most of
hmm
it is orally. So
Yeah.
then they feel more
Yeah.
confident when they need to communicate orally, because
Hmm.
that's what
Hmm.
they will have to face in real life, orally.
Yeah. If they travel, work, whatever. Yeah.
Yes. I get the feeling that you achieved that level in a very short time because if you moved to the US when you were 16, is that right?
16.
And you are
Yeah. Yeah.
19, I
Yeah.
think that the speed of your progress was kind of amazing because you speak
Yeah.
really
Well,
well.
thank you. I do appreciate it. Well, when you're put into this environment where you don't really communicate in any other language and you have passion for English, and that's what most people speak around you, that kind of, I guess, happens automatically. Of course, you have to put additional effort. Yes, I would sit down, write down words that I didn't know, listen to TED Talks about how human brain works in terms of accepting a new language, but the desire to learn is probably what helped me the most because a lot of people, unfortunately, they start studying English with the teachers that are not necessarily right for them because everybody has to have an individual approach, and sometimes people give their children a tutor that is not necessarily I guess, depicting the needs that the child has for learning a language. And
Hmm.
it could be the problem because it can demotivate people in the future to study because they associate it with some negative experience. Uh, so in my case, I was trying to only focus on topics that I really liked,
Hmm.
making sure that I'm able to communicate about them. I'm really into computer science. I'm really into psychology, different TED Talks and things like that. So that's what I started with what I liked. And then when I communicated with Americans, let's say small talk was a big problem for me because in my culture we don't really have it. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, that's a new area that I have to focus on, figure out how I can represent myself there. Trying to incorporate different cultural differences and let other people know that, oh yeah, it is differently in my country, but I'm still able to communicate through it. I'm still able to explain it. And when you see this feedback from other people, like, oh,
Hmm.
that's so interesting, or tell me more about it, it gets you excited and you want to like learn more in order to be able to represent your country, your language, your experiences, and things like that. So that's why I'm always open-minded. And you mentioned that you thanked me that I accepted a call from a stranger, but I'm always trying, to help people, to talk to different communities, because I also learn from that, obviously.
Hmm.
And that's, what life is about, I guess, constant
Absolutely.
learning, improving. Yeah.
Something that I find when getting new students, is many of them, they the way they experience the process of learning or trying to learn the language was kind of rough. And I
Hmm.
think that probably the way or the systems, I don't even know what to call it, but in many cases, I feel that many of these students previously were led to feeling demotivated or
Right.
frustrated, or even getting the impression that English is not for them, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah, a lot of people have this impression.
exactly, and I would say that that cannot happen. I mean, because it's not, we're not talking about a kind of art or science that, we have different personalities, we have different likes, and you could say probably piano is not for me, for example, or dancing is not
Right.
for me. But with the communication, we all tend to naturally communicate with others.
Right.
It's part of,
Yeah.
how we work as humans, as people. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that that has to be in you the
Hmm.
necessity, the natural necessity of communicating with others. And it
Yeah.
has to be in English, you know.
Hmm.
So, of course, you can find ways to get it and to use it, to learn,
Hmm.
and to communicate. Probably some things will help you more than others. And something that
Yeah.
maybe helps me, maybe it's not going to work with you. I don't know, because we are different. But in the
Yeah.
end, it has to be possible. It cannot be
Yeah.
that English is not for you.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's something that I usually try to work with students. You show that you see, you can do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Just find your way that works
find
for
your
you,
way.
and that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. And something
Yeah.
else that you mentioned that I totally agree with, and you always encourage my students to do this is find things that are in English, but things that you like or that are about things that you enjoy. If you are into
Mm-hmm.
music or if you are into science or whatever, try to find
Mm-hmm.
things, tutorials or interviews or TED Talks, as you also mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
about those topics that you like. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
personally would never watch a video about how to fix the engine of a car. I'm not into that, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
probably an
Mm-hmm.
interview with a singer from Sweden, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I would be into that because I like music, you know, and I
Right.
like finding
Yeah.
out about the artist.
Yeah.
So it has to be something that you enjoy, and that will help you.
Something unique. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. True.
I have another question. Have you been learning or have you learned other languages other than English? Ha
Well, I was growing up learning as my first languages Russian and Ukrainian.
Uh-huh.
So that I initially knew two languages. I started learning English in second grade based
Hmm.
on our high school system,
Hmm.
well, overall school system. And I had a little bit of German, but it was when I was in middle school, and I wasn't good enough in English. So having learning another language like German got me confused a little bit. So I stopped and I decided to get better in one language, do it step by step. And right now, obviously, I'm focusing in English and I do know Ukrainian and Russian. But in the future, I would consider learning a completely different languages, probably like Mandarin, possibly, or something completely not similar to what Europe is used to in terms of languages. Because I love traveling, I would like to communicate and always possible with all kinds of people. And probably in the future, not now, but in the future, I would definitely consider an option of learning a different language.
And you have plenty of time for that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to learn
true.
any language you want. Is
Yeah.
Spanish in that list?
Spanish, I was considering it. I have a couple of Spanish friends actually. I don't know almost anything about this language, but I think knowing English, it's gonna be much easier because there are some similarities, obviously a lot of differences, but the structure, of the language could help. Um, I don't know how am I gonna decide what language I'm gonna learn, probably based on my interests and
Yeah,
future opportunities in life.
exactly.
Uh, but Spanish could be one of them. Yeah.
If you think about it, Spanish is spoken in many parts, like
Yeah.
basically all Central and South America,
Hmm.
you know? We all
Yeah.
speak Spanish plus Spain. So it could work. I mean, it could be useful in many cases. In the US, there are lots of Latin people, living
Hmm.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually kind of like a big deal, the number
Hmm.
of Latin people living in the US. So
Hmm.
it could be useful. It could be actually,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful
Yeah.
language.
Oh yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what,
I
what, what
know.
would I say if it's my own language, right? But I think it's nice. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
That's very good. So,
I, yeah. I was just gonna ask you also, how was your English journey like? Because you said you started teaching in 1990s, but how did you get passionate about it? How did it start for you?
um, well, let me explain like this. I think I always said that I started liking English when I started high school, because at that
Hmm.
time, the way that the education was organized, you could have English classes in high school, only
Hmm.
starting then. And in some cases, it was French instead of English.
Hmm.
It, but my first class in high school, I was around 12 years old, and
Hmm.
I loved it, and that made me really curious. And right after that, I got to meet some Americans,
Hmm.
American guys, and that made me even
Right.
more interested and gave me the wonderful opportunity to ask them things and try to practice with them
Right.
and testing myself, challenging myself to say things to them,
Right.
and have conversations in the end, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when I think back, even before that, I remember that I used to collect. My mom used to get me some kids magazines,
Mm-hmm.
like with different activities. And those magazines that we were collecting here in my house, the central pages, they always brought like list of vocabulary and how all those things were said in different languages, in common, like
Mm-hmm.
English,
Mm-hmm.
French, German, etc. And I remember I was very little. I'm talking about younger than 10 years old, probably.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
would collect them. I would tear off those pages and I made a little folder with them. I collected them. I tried to
Mm-hmm.
memorize them. So I feel that I was curious about languages even before I started in high school. But I think the greatest opportunity I had was like being in contact with native speakers. That allowed me
Right.
to get it more naturally. Music also has a great role in my process. I love music. I love
Mm-hmm.
singing. And most of the songs that I've been listening to are songs in English. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that is great,
Yeah.
great practice. Singing in the language you intend to learn, I think is great practice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would say that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, well, and I agree with you in this one as well. While you are teaching, you're also learning. You
Yeah.
discover
Yeah.
things. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful, ride in the end. So it is a
Yeah, for
hobby
sure.
and it is my job as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yes.
that's good, when you have an opportunity to have a job that you enjoy, that's one of the most important things, I think, because there are a lot of people who work and they don't really like what they do.
Hmm.
In my case, being a teacher, it's not the same. I really enjoy it. I enjoy getting the feedback from people. I see how they thrive after our classes or learning a language, and it leaves like a very positive mark on you, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You said you've been traveling. Where have you been so
hmm
far? What parts of the world have you been to?
If I only if I remember, I've been to. Let's start with where I'm from. Well, Ukraine, Moldova, Poland, Romania, um, Montenegro, Serbia, Italy, Germany. I'm going to Czech Republic in August. United States, obviously, Canada. Really want to go to Mexico. I was in Puerto Rico. I know that United States has, you know, their own opinion about Puerto Rico, but when I came there, I didn't see like a common American culture there, so that's why I named it separately.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Puerto Rico, and I think that's it. I hope.
That's an impressive list of countries you've been to. It's incredible. Incredible. What a wonderful experience. And kind of like that, I don't know if that justifies this, but you sound like so smart, especially now that I know your
Mm,
age, like
mhm.
you seem to be so mature, so experienced,
Thank you.
and probably
I
all this you've
appreciate
been
it.
doing, has led to this. So it's wonderful. Imagine you here, like in 10, 20 years more, you know,
hmm
like you're amazing. You're amazing. Once
Thank you.
again, I've been more honored that you accepted and given me this opportunity to get to know you. I think it's
hmm
fascinating and it's even inspiring, to keep
hmm
learning, to I don't know, make a better version of who we are.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like what you
yeah.
inspire. So it's even greater than I thought it would be. So I appreciate it that
Thank
you
you.
you accept it.
No, thank you. Thank you for offering me this opportunity because I mean, I love talking to people, especially to new people who have similar experience, different experience. Yes, we're all different, but I think that what makes life interesting. You learn about those differences and maybe I'll try, different things in my life that this person suggested, and then I'll
Mhm.
find that it's actually my passion and I want to keep going with it. And if I didn't meet this person, I wouldn't be able to know. So, yeah.
Totally. Your students, are they mostly kids or teenagers, or you have all ages? What about that?
I have. all ages before 45, I think. So I have teenagers. I don't really have kids. So the youngest one is 17, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I have teenagers, yes, I have married people already. I have people who have like big families already. So all kinds of people. And that's what makes it interesting because I find different approaches to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, different people who want to work with me and learn about their life, they learn about my life, and it always brings new perspectives. So all range of people, yeah.
I think pretty much like me. I mostly work with adults, you know.
Yeah.
I have a few, yes, I have a few young students, about 10-year-old students, you know. But
Hmm.
mostly I would say the average is over 20, I would say.
Over 20, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
mainly. In many
Hmm.
cases, it's people who are working for companies that require them to be, like kind of fluent in English. Sometimes they have video calls with, with other companies, or these companies
Right,
are
right.
international.
Yeah.
And yes, so this is becoming a reality every day more, companies working in or interacting with other countries frequently, you know.
Yeah.
So this is more and more required every day to be
Hmm.
experienced in the language, and not just having
True.
a piece of paper that says that you have some courses, but
Hmm.
actually
Hmm.
that you can speak it, that you can communicate, That's
Yeah.
why my classes are mainly oral experiences, oral
Yeah.
challenges, description, listening, understanding, getting ideas across the best way possible, so
Hmm.
that they have better chances at work, So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, it is the
No.
world we're
Yeah.
living today, and I think it's great because we can
Hmm.
interact much, much easier than years before. I'm from a
Yeah.
generation who to be in contact with someone who you got to meet in your country and then left, it was
Hmm.
really hard, because you
Hmm.
you would think that you would never see them again. And now when that happens, like, okay, we'll be in touch and you can have video calls and with just this you can communicate so
Yeah.
easily. And that's something wonderful
Yeah.
about these times. Yeah. Yes. Well,
It is true.
once again, I thank you so very much for accepting to have this interview. Once it is
Hmm.
ready and edited and I will be posting it, of course, I will send you the link so you can have a look at it, and I hope you
Yeah.
like it as well. Yes.
No, of course. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yes, and then if you want to use it with your students or whatever, it's yours too. What
Hmm.
I'm going to make is yours too. Feel free to use it
Perfect.
the way you want it. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I hope you succeed in everything that you do, that you keep on going and you keep on visiting even more countries. And if one of those countries one day happens to be Argentina, let me know.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably
Okay.
one
Yeah.
day we'll
Maybe
get to meet.
we will do something together. Yeah. And meet in person. That would be amazing.
Start training your
Yeah.
Spanish just in case.
Okay. Just in case I will start. Yeah.
There you go. B- By the way, and this should have been the first question. I believe your name is Dan. Is it Dan?
Dan, yes.
Like Daniel?
Well, American name, but my
Ah,
my full name is Danila, but people usually call me Danya back from back home. Danya.
Danya. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
What should I call you then? That
You can call me if it's okay for you, you can call me Danya. Yeah.
Okay, Danya then.
Danya.
Thank you so very much, Danya, for accepting this. I really, really enjoyed. It was an honor for me to have you, and
Thank you.
we'll be in touch. I will be sending you the final edition of this interview. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you very much for inviting me. I hope that you're gonna keep pursuing your passion in terms of teaching, reaching out to more people. I really love talking to you, and thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for this opportunity. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Well, talk to you soon then. Thank you so much,
Talk
Danya.
to you soon. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.